Hi guys, I'm back again with another battle report. Again, this is a Hordes of Thing 1, and this time my Barbarians are taking the Empire on Mars. And funnily enough, my Barbarians do end up going to Mars. And these are two relatively quick games, as you'll see. So, the army lists are the Empire on Mars. Again, this is a 50mm army. He's got a Rider General, 4 shooters, 2 artillery, 2 riders, and his Behemoth is a tank. And then my Celts are the same. Warband General, 5 Warband, 2 Shooter and 2 Rider, and a Giant to finish it off. And a quick look at the setup. On my left hand side, my opponent's got his 3 Rider, his centre one is the General, 2 Artillery, and his steam tank. And on the right, behind the trees, is his 4 Shooter. So on my right, protecting my stronghold, I've got my 6 Warband, again with my General at the front centre, and my Giant protecting them. And on my far left, I've got my 2 Riders, and my Shooters who are going to go through the woods, as I normally do with them. So, my opponent gets first turn being the attack role, and moves forward with everything on the left hand side. And I just move up in the centre, and send my Shooters through the trees, and my Riders up on the left flank. So it's just the start of the opponent's band, and the table's looking something like this. The fights at the moment, I don't have anything matched up in my favour. That steam tank gets into my warband, it's all quick killed there. My Giant has the chance of quick killing his shooters, but he's in the terrain. I'll get modifiers. So nothing here is really looking too good for my guys. So after moving his shooters all up, he then moves, splits up his forces. He's going to take his 3 Riders to take on my 2. This might end in my favour. I've got my shooters in the woods, able to take on the Riders there, and they might get somewhat trapped. But other than that, the centre I've just don't know what to do with. I've got no advantage here whatsoever. With all the shooters in the woods as well, it's all just evens at the moment. So in my turn, I just use one of my shooters to align with my cavalry in case he charges. Thereby at least giving me some sort of added bonus of overlapping one of his units. My other shooter just goes up. If he does come forwards, I can always get behind him and try and get a flank charge or something to help support my units. In the centre, he just moves up a bit more, trying to get in range with all his cannons and that. Because he obviously can't move and shoot with them, he may as well move this turn and blast me as I come in towards him. Brilliant. On the left hand side, he decides to go in for it. I was a bit surprised really, because it wasn't a huge bonus. He was so much stronger elsewhere, but I think he wants to quick kill these guys if he can and try and break in behind my lines. So we're looking at a 3-3 against his general and a 3-3 against his other rider as well. Unfortunately for me, it turns out not so well and drives my rider back. I suppose it could have been worse. He could have killed something, but I was hoping to push him back. But this does now leave me open to flank my opponent, which I do. I swing my shooters round and engage the flank. And with the first roll, I wiped out the general. We did roll the other one, and it did end up as a draw. And that was it. That was a very quick first game for me, but a win for the Celts. So, on to game 2. This time I'm the attacker, my opponent's defender. The table is set up as you see. So we've got a built-up area on my back lines. The 2 areas of rough ground, one with trees on, one's just rough ground, open, quicksand. And of course my Celts are on Mars. And the strange, phallus-looking thing coming from the top is a ravine. So that's impassable. And the big walker at the back of the Empire's army, that is his stronghold. So on my left on the opponent's side, he's got his 3 Rider and 2 Shooter, and again the Rider with the red uniform is his general. And on the right, he's got his other 2 Shooter, his steam tank, and 2 Artillery. On my far right, I put my giant. I did this really just to take on his shooter and maybe attract his own steam tank into engaging me on this flank. I just want to catch his attention because the way he split up his force, if I can engage just the left hand side, it might give me advantage. And of course I can bring my shooters over pretty quickly anyway. So this is pretty much a bluff on this flank. And on the left flank I've got my shooters in column ready to go through the rough terrain and my warband. So I get first turn and I do pretty well for my pips and I shoot up as you can see. I decided, yeah, I'm going to send my giant straight up the far flank. I know it's going to cost me a lot of pips, but it will divert some of his attention. My artillery are going to kind of threaten his my riders are going to try and threaten his artillery, but they're just going to keep their distance without looking like they're keeping the distance. And the rest of my troops all move forwards. As you can see, his general's captured there on the left-hand side of that impassable terrain. So if I can engage that, I have the advantage. So my opponent just shuffles forwards, doesn't roll for many dice, many pips, and these are that. And over here, yep, I just got my giant through. Don't worry, that shrubbery is not just a lurk or anything, it's about to attack my giant. I'm moving to the left side, so I just shift it across to the side so I can get through. And here's my general trying to make a direct run towards my opponent's general. Because also, if you notice there, because of that curve in the ravine there, he's also quite trapped. So if I can just hit him and just make him recoil, it should be enough to wipe him out. Then my opponent hands me this Hail Mary chance. He moves up and positions his general in such a way that he's actually left himself so he can't recoil. He did this accidentally. He saw it after his turn was over, and he said he'd hoped that I didn't see it, but I did. He brought it up there so he had line of sight to the other guy, so it had no terrain interfering to make the pips easier. But unfortunately, this is putting a perfect chance for me to get charged by my warband. Okay, so I charge in. As you imagined, I managed to roll my max dice. Got all my guys in there, and to me, I've just got massive advantage here. I'm up there against his riders. If I can just drive him back, I then have a 3-4 against the general. So I've got the advantage against the general to wipe him out. So what happened? As you can see, it was kind of a disaster. I went in there. I charged him and pushed forwards the guys in the middle, which left my general exposed. And in his following turn, he moved up. He had an overlap on my general. My general lost, and he managed to roll. He doubled me. I think I rolled a 1 on my general. So that was my general wiped out, and then he also miraculously wiped out the other 2 warband as well. So that was my army destroyed. So overall, it was a win and a loss. So it's a draw against Jim. And we go on to the next game. As always guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you want to see more of what I do, check out the Celt Colonel on Blogspot. And until the next time guys, that was.